Lovely.
My wife is texting me reels. What's this? Oh, girl. My wife is.
Lovely. Lovely.
My wife's pretty funny. Alright, I'm back. I've got to get my mining skill up. I need to get flaming enchant on my another weapon here, because it hits so hard. And having dual flame is going to be really, really powerful. Or fire enchant, what do you want to call it? Fiery flame. Copper, oh yeah, get copper. Gotta get my mining up. It's too, my mining skill's too low. I'm like seeing all these tin veins and I can't get them.
Lovely.
Ra, get off me. Cat's trying to jump my lap. Get off me, Ra. Biff. Biff you right back. Well, you know what we can do is we can smelt a bunch of copper. I probably have enough copper. I can smelt some copper. That'll level up my mining skill. But we need to get to 65 before we can get tin veins. Obviously, quite a ways away from that. But I'll work on it. Here, let me do something really quick. What we're gonna do? I want to get onto my ore banker and mail any copper ore she has to this character, so that we can smelt it up to level my mining skill. Alright, we got copper return. Let's return that to him. Return. And the other thing I want to do is check my bank. Gold. Copper.
How are you?
Have any copper in here? No, we do not.
Safe travels.
I have a lot of leather, but I don't have a leather worker, so all my leather's just been stockpiling. Alright, now I need to go to here. I need to make some sharpening stones if I can. So we're gonna go solid sharpening stone is level 25, and mithril and sharpening stone is going to be 35. Solid sharpening stone.
Hey there.
And I don't have solid stone, which is a little bit
Have a good one.
surprising. I probably sent it to another character. Disappointing. Yeah, that is a little disappointing. Who would have solid stone? Probably Dark Agony. She was going engineering. I might have sent her my solid stone just in preparation for her getting to the point where she could use solid stone. I will say the server has, I don't want to say a lot of people in it, but there's definitely people here, which makes me happy. I was worried that we'd lose everybody to Season of Discovery, but it doesn't look like we lost everybody. Okay, looking for solid stone. I'm not seeing any. I find it really hard to believe that I don't have solid stone on a character.
You need something?
Okay, solid stone. It looks like we just don't have a lot of solid stone. What do I need copper ore for? Oh, just smelt.
See you later.
The only other person that may have solid stone, well, there's a couple, but my mage, who was also an engineer, or my potion vendor. I have too many bankers. I have too many bankers. You see any solid stone? No, I do not. Holy moly, look at all this stuff. This character is just ridiculous.
What brings you here?
Look at all the... Oh, you think I got a lot of potions? Here's some solid stone. I know I can cook white spider meat. Giant eggs, probably monster omelet, maybe? I really just need to sell some of this stuff. I have too many potions. Way too many potions. Oh my goodness. Warrior's gonna be, let's see, level 21. Warrior can use these healing potions, so we'll send those over to the warrior. The warrior is currently not, doesn't have a profession, she's just mining and skinning, so we're not going to be messing around with that. 35. Tiger meat, cured ham steak. Working this, go to. I'm convinced that my druid, if I ever level my druid, is going to be a leather worker, so I'm going to send leather working stuff to her. And that's, oh my god. Oh my god, look at this inventory, holy crap. Oh, and all these bags. I'm trying to think if anybody needs these. What character do I have? Banker probably needs these. Let's say Shady Vale maybe needs them? Who knows? Did I hit log out or did I hit exit game? Okay, hit log out. Yes, I'm not awake yet. Anyways, I'm only going to be streaming until about 1 o'clock. Then me and my wife are going to take the dog for a walk. And then when I come back from that dog walk, I will stream again. I'll
Lovely.
start the stream right back up. Man, this guy's just crushing me. Crap, we're going to get two.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Full defense here. We're fully defense. Why am I not defensive stance? I am defensive stance. Oh, now I am. Okay, interesting.
Lovely. Lovely.
So on the warrior, when you're
Lovely.
leveling a warrior in hardcore, I'll give you a couple tips on how not to die. One of those things is always hamstring your opponent. Like when you know your opponent's getting down to around 40% health or less, hamstring them, so that when they move away, they're going to be moving. You know, obviously they're going to be moving at a slow rate. So here I'm going to go ahead and throw up Rend, right, just to help build. I'm going to build up some rage, and then maybe I'll throw in like a Sunder. We don't really need it, but now we're gonna hamstring because the mob's dying. but you know, died really fast. But you just get a handle on when you need hamstring, right? Like here, I'll do heroic strike. Now I'll go hamstring, right? And then just kill them off. Always get them hamstrung though. You don't want to risk them running away to other mobs. Always keep your warrior topped off. Hey, what's up? Zolson, how's it going, man? Yes, the White Warden. I leveled a warlock from 1 to 21, and you know me, I don't play warlocks that much, and I found it pretty boring. I mean, it was fun, but it was kind of boring. Because in vanilla, it seems like only affliction's really that decent for leveling. And then I started getting back on my warrior here, the Warden, and of course, she's super fun. Yeah, the hunter's level 60, and she's got pretty good gear. Her gear score's around 708. Like a really good gear score would be like 750 plus. That would mean you've got pretty much most of your like BIS gear, you know. She definitely doesn't have her BIS gear, but she is around 708. She's got pretty good gear. I usually finish number 2, around number 2 on DPS meters when I do UBRS or RBS with my guild. I'm usually number 2 on DPS. I usually get outpaced by mages, usually. But I usually out DPS almost all rogues. And then my paladin, my protection paladin is level 60. She's got, you know, she's got some gear, but she's still like quite a bit ways behind the hunter as far as gear. But I found that tanking on the paladin is good in the undead instances, but it's not as fun in non-undead instances because I don't have that, you know. I just seem to be more equipped for undead, of course. And I can't use exorcism on humanoids, so exorcism is great in the undead instance because I can use it as a way to pull mobs and to do the pulls. Without that, it's kind of annoying. But yeah,
Lovely.
the warrior's gonna be really cool though. I'm excited about the warrior because I feel like I'm a pretty good warrior. Like I feel like I know the class, at least DPS wise, pretty well. And I know warriors are supposed to be the #1 DPS, like Fury Warrior is supposed to be like the top DPS in vanilla. For like raids, and we've not had any DPS warriors in our guild because the guild leader, you know. Oh yeah, I'm alive. Yeah. Oh yeah. I've run tons of LBRS, tons of UBRS on my hunter, tons of undead strat, live strat, and never died, obviously. Ah shit. I gotta come down because I don't want him to run around.
Lovely.
But the thing is, the guild leader of this guild is a warrior, and he tanks a lot. And he tanked a lot to help people get geared up, and now he's kind of sick of tanking, so he's been wanting to do more DPS. So whenever warriors hit 60, you know, he's always pushing them to tank because he's sick of tanking. He's been tanking a ton, right? But we have a couple druid tanks, and we have a lot of warriors that are leveling up. So I'm really hopeful that when I get to 60, and I'm going to tell the guild leader, I'm going to say, look, I don't want to tank. I can, you know, tank at 60 on the warrior, but I would much rather DPS. So yeah, it's not super rewarding, to be honest. Target needs to be in front of me. Where do you think he is? Yeah, it's not super rewarding.
Lovely.
Looks like we got a couple mobs here. No worries. Hamstring. Bleed. Got the debuff up. Let's go for a disarm. Let's see if we can get disarm off. Takes a lot of rage for disarm though.
Lovely.
Oh, disarm missed. Gonna switch to battle stance, hamstring. So disarm actually missed right there. Disappointing. Yeah, I feel like tanking isn't as rewarding, and I feel like, unfortunately, everybody chases the damage meters, because everybody seems to judge everybody else as far as if they're a good player based on how much damage they do, which I don't think is a good barometer of how good a player is, because anybody can do damage. It's not that difficult to do damage. You know, if you've got really good gear, you've got a class like a mage or a rogue, and you have half a brain, you're going to do pretty good damage, right? Like, for example, there was a hunter in LBRS with us the other day, Zolson. His gear score was 7. His gear score was like 745, and my gear score was like 706, and I out DPS'd him, not by just a little, by like a mile. I mean, I was like way out DPSing him, which really made no sense because his gear was quite a bit better than my gear, and he should have been out DPSing me easily. But that just goes to show you that if you don't understand your class and you don't understand how to do damage, you know, it makes a difference. You have to understand your rotations, you have to understand how to DPS, and you have to be quick. On the hunter, it's tricky because you if you're doing, most of the hunter builds are going to be marksman builds, so you run out of mana really fast, right? So in between pulls, you're usually drinking, and other people, and the tanks usually don't wait for hunters to drink. So there's other classes like rogue and stuff that don't have that downtime. They're not, you know, they don't have to stop to drink. So they have an advantage on the DPS meter because they're not sitting there on the ground drinking or eating while you are. So hunters right off the bat are kind of at a slight disadvantage. And you'll see when you watch me play my hunter in like UBRS or LBRS, you'll see in between pulls where I have downtime. I actually have downtime while I'm drinking while everybody else is doing damage. So, and I still end up being like number 2 on DPS almost every time. Like I said, I usually only get out DPS by like a mage, and that's just because in like, you know, in LBRS, UBRS, there's a lot of, you know, pulls where you're doing AoE, and they're just topping, you know, just throwing Blizzard down, you know, one button, boom, number 1 on DPS, you know, Blizzard. Yeah, like you said, he probably bought his gear, doesn't, yeah, but obviously there's something going on because he's not, I don't know if he's not a marksman build. I'm pretty sure he was marks though, because I saw him do an aim shot, so, but obviously he doesn't, you know, there's more to it than just pressing buttons. You know, you have to understand when to use what. You have to make sure your auto shots are getting in. You don't want to clip any of your auto shots. He could be clipping auto shots, you know. You don't want to, you got to be able to switch targets quickly, especially with your pet, because mobs are going to die, and if you wait until the mob's dead and then target the next mob, then your pet's not going to, it's going to take your pet too long to switch targets. So what I usually do is I'm fighting one mob, and when the mob's almost dead, I select the next mob, and I send my pet on the next mob, and then I switch, right? That way, I don't want my pet...
Lovely.
Hold on a second. Let me turn the music... Sorry, the music's too loud. So, the worst part is when you're on Hunter and the mob dies, your pet starts running back towards you. So it takes a long time for him, when he runs back about halfway towards you, to then resend him on someone else. So what you want to do is when he's on somebody, before the target drops, go ahead and send him on the next mob, because it doesn't take him very long to switch, because the mobs are usually pretty close together. So you get him to the next mob, then you attack the next mob. That way your pet uptime is a lot higher. And then of course your uptime is going to be up higher. It's going to be pretty good. And you also have to be careful about when to use aim shot. You never, because it takes so long to get your aim shot off. You don't want it to almost be off and then the mob dies and you didn't get it off at all. So, you know, there's a little bit of a nuance there, just knowing when you have time to get it off, when you don't. You know, there's lots of little different things, but yeah, I mean, obviously I'm doing a lot of damage on a character who isn't as geared as other characters. There's other characters that run guilds, that run runs with us, that have better gear than me, that I out DPS pretty much every time. So just a lot of it has to do with just understanding how to play your class and use your abilities at the right time. And so I'm really excited for the warrior, because the warrior won't have that downtime, Zulson. I'm super excited to DPS as a warrior, because I think I can easily, I think I can easily be the #1 DPS player in the guild if I can just get the gear, because I'm not going to have that downtime. Yeah.
Lovely.
First aid? What do you mean first aid? Where is that other? It's over there. Yes, they. In fact, I was reading about the good DPS warrior, and that they basically will almost always full threat if they're doing like the damage they're capable of doing. So there's definitely going to be. I'm not really sure. I have to maybe do a little research on how to mitigate threat on the DPS warrior. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna be first aid. Okay, yeah. See, it's gonna be new. I've never really raided on a Fury warrior, so. But I'm excited at the prospect. You know, I think that's gonna be really fun. But the next thing I do after this, I'm not gonna play Season Discovery. I really have no desire to play SOD. I don't like how it's gated. You know, they gate the leveling experience. They gate the. I just don't like it. But when Cataclysm Classic comes out, I'm definitely gonna be playing that. Because the one thing about hardcore that I miss is you know Zolson, I love PvP. I love PvP, and I love Battlegrounds. I absolutely love Battlegrounds. And so when Cataclysm Classic comes out, I will definitely be playing that because I want to get into some rated Battlegrounds. And I'm probably gonna do either a Hunter. I was thinking about doing a Ret Paladin, but honestly, I think I might do a Hunter. I'm having a lot of fun with Hunters lately, and Hunters are really solid DPS in Cataclysm for like rated Battlegrounds. They're really good, and I like Hunters a lot, so I think I might do a Hunter. And also Ret Paladins are strong. Some people I think underestimate them, but Ret Paladins, if you're really good on them, they're incredibly strong in Cataclysm. So those would be the two classes, and then the other one would not be Discipline Priest. I'm sorry, Discipline Priest is not that good at max level in Cata, unfortunately. You might be done with WoW. Are you playing something else? You should never be done with WoW. Just the fact that you say that makes me sad. You should never be done with WoW. Well, I mean, if you're not having fun, don't play it. Don't pay for a sub if you're not using it. But I always have fun. I mean, I can always find ways to do stuff in the game that I find, you know, to be very fun. And for me, like I said, I've always said World of Warcraft is my therapist. This is how I relax. When I get stressed out about anything in the world, when I play WoW, it de-stresses me. You know, this is my way to wind down. Some people watch TV. I don't really watch a lot of TV. I play World of Warcraft. You know what I mean?
Lovely.
But yeah, I'll be playing this. God, I wish I could get all these damn tin veins. I really need to level up my mining. Yeah, you're just bored of the game. You're just bored of the game. You either need to play something else, or maybe you've outgrown video games. I don't know. I'm just a big kid. I don't think I'll ever outgrow video games. That's just the way I am. I have, you know, I have a huge imagination. You know, I love the idea of fantasy worlds and stuff, so I don't play on Everlook, dude. Everlook's full of Chinese players, man. Everlook got overrun by Chinese players, so yeah, no, I don't play on Everlook. Yeah, that's true. That's the way it is in WoW. There's all those tin nodes, and as soon as I get high enough to mine tin, I go back there won't be any tin. But the server's pretty, you know, this is a pretty dead server because, you know, it was very, very popular server until Season of Discovery came out, and Season of Discovery took probably about 60% of the population.
Lovely.
Easily, 60% of the population of the server was gone because of SOD. So, because of that, because the population is not super high, it's pretty low. You don't really have a lot of competition for ore, so mining is really easy. You know, there's a lot of ore around, so it's not a big deal. There are some benefits to having a lower pop realm. Most of the stuff I do is
Hello. Farewell.
Most of the stuff I do is with my guild, you know, like, you know, we've got a ton of people in the guild, and my guild is one of the biggest, if not the biggest guild on the entire server, so... Wait, invite. Come on, don't kill me yet.
Lovely.
Right. Thank you. You gonna grab a bite to eat? Alright, man. Stay safe, man. Good to see you, Zolson. Hope you have a good day. Well, I hope that you can find something else to play, though. If you're, like, not having fun in WoW, I hope you find another game to play, because you should always have a good video game to play in your life. You just should, right?
Can I help you? See you around.
Okay, what are the quests do? Okay, we still need axes. We need 1 condor meat. And we need the underbarrel scales. Okay, cool. Let's do that. Let's do the scales and the condor meat. Yeah, I've been playing much. Can't find anything worthy. Well, like, you know, there's some games coming. You know, I mean, Ashes of Creation. I'm so Hey Zolson. Hey Zolson can. Hey Zolson. Oh, it's too late. Ashes of Creation, I screwed up. I didn't pay for the Alpha 2 pack because it was so expensive. It was like, I don't know, 250 bucks or something. I didn't want to pay that. But now I'm really mad that I didn't, because I didn't realize that the Alpha 2, they said that once you buy the Alpha 2 access that you'll be able to play the game until launch, which that I didn't know. I just thought it was like Alpha, they were going to do an Alpha 2, you know, and it would be like, you know, Alpha, just like any Alpha, it'd be up for maybe a couple weeks. And I was like, I'm not paying 250 bucks for a package that lets me just get into the game for like 2 weeks. And that's what I thought it was. But then I found out that once you buy the Alpha 2, you have access to the game until it launches. I don't know if that means the game is going to be up all the time, though, and I hope it isn't, because it's going to really make me feel bad if it's like a Baldur's Gate scenario where you're basically in there playing the game nonstop until it comes out, right? But I don't know.
See you later.
Man, I can't believe my gloves.
Have a good one.
Really, my gloves are that bad? Holy crap, this character's got terrible gloves. I was wearing 2 spirit, 2 stamina gloves. Well, they have +5 strength on them. That's probably why. Yeah, so that makes 5 strength, 2 stamina. Yeah, that's why I was still wearing them then.
Can I help you? Be careful.
Yeah, so I'm really mad that I didn't get Ashes of Creation Alpha 2, and I even messaged Steven on the Discord. Of course, he didn't respond, but I do know that I'm probably not the only person to message him or try to contact these guys and say, hey, look, I stream games. I really want to stream Ashes of Creation for my channel. I want to cover the game, and I'm, you know, obviously this is not. If you look at this video here, obviously I'm not the first person to talk about this because they bring it up in this stream really early, and this stream is just from like 8 days ago, right?
Systems. These are a little bit different.
You guys voted on which?
It was scary. Some PvP.
We tried to give as many reminders as we could. Email.
Here it is.
Who enjoys cooking? I love cooking and baking.
So here it is. They're going to talk about how some people didn't get alpha access, and that obviously they're not happy about it, and they must be talking to Steven and talking to, you know, Ashes of Creation. What is the name of their studio? It's not Ashes of Creation. What's the name of the studio? It always makes me mad when I can't think of the name of the studio. Ashes of Creation. Intrepid. So people obviously were like me, missed the boat, and probably complained or mentioned it a lot. And I've mentioned it. Like I said, I messaged Steven on Discord. I messaged the channel and said, this is kind of ridiculous. I said, you know, here we are trying to give you money to play your game and you won't let us. And I understand why. Apparently there's just so many people that want to get in and play Alpha 2 that they just don't want there to be, which to me doesn't really make sense, because you just, unless, the only reason I could think, I'm trying to think of why you wouldn't let people play your game, right, for money. I mean, if someone's going to pay $250 to play your game, why would you not let them? Like, they can sit there and say, well, you'll have too many people, the servers will be too full. Well, that's not really an issue, because you just put a, you know, the wait list on it. You put the queue. You just implement a queue, which you're going to have to implement a queue anyway. So the fact that you would have to implement the queue for Alpha 2 is good practice to get you ready for launch, so you understand how to implement the queue. You work through any kind of technical issues you may have with the queue. So to me, that's a good thing to want to do in Alpha 2. And so I can't understand why they wouldn't let people get into Alpha 2. I don't really get it. I mean, there's really no reason not to. The one thing I did think of is, if there are a lot of people that want to play the game that you don't let play the game, then they'll still pay for the game when it comes out. So what I mean by that is, if you let everybody get into Alpha 2 and a lot of those people find out they don't really like the game, then they're not going to play the game. But really, you would have still gotten $250 out of them because that's how much it costs for the package. So they still would have paid you a significant amount of money. Now the game when it launches probably won't be $250. It'll probably be like $60 or something or $70, and then there'll be the monthly fee. The one thing about the $250 is it's not really $250. I mean, you're paying for, I believe, it was also like months of access to the game because Astro Creation is like World of Warcraft. It has a monthly fee. So that $250, I believe, covered about 6 months worth of game time. So you're talking, what's that, like $90 or something? You know, $15 a month, you figure 30, 60, yeah, that's $90. So $90 of the $250 was actually, you know, what you would have paid to play the game anyway. So then now you're looking at only, $160 that you're paying for the game. Then you take out the cost, the box price, which is going to be 60 or 70. So now you're looking at, well, you paid like $100 extra, maybe $100 extra. What's that giving you? Well, it's probably just giving you access to the alpha. It's giving you some cosmetics and stuff. So it really isn't that bad a deal. I mean, financially, it's actually not that bad. But I'm really angry. I mean, I'm really mad that I don't have access to Alpha 2. I'm so bummed, missed out, really bummed. I can't believe I missed the pre-order. And I say I'm bummed. But I just can't really understand their logic of saying we're not going to let you buy the pre-order because, like I said, you just put the queue in place to make sure that you don't let too many people in the server, right? I don't know. So let's listen to. You can see they talk about it a little bit right here.
It was very, very cool seeing that. So thank you. And then the last thing that we want to remind you guys about, and this is more of less of a reminder, and it's more because we've gotten a lot of questions. The PR inbox was full of questions. CS has been getting questions. I know our community team, Roshan and Vacnar, have been getting questions regarding it. But as you guys know, the shop update, our pre-order packs have ended. We are no longer selling pre-order packs. We did give a plethora of months notice whenever we...
They did. They get, in all fairness, they gave not only did they give a ton of notice, but they actually extended the date. They said they were going to cut off the date at a certain point, and then they extended it like another couple months, if I remember correctly. But the reason I didn't get the pre-order was because I thought it was only access to the Alpha 2, which was just going to be like a short period, like a couple of weeks Alpha 2. I didn't understand that the Alpha 2 was going to be access once Alpha 2 comes out from then until the game is launched. That's two completely different things. So the bad part now is if you don't have access to Alpha 2, you're going to be so far behind the curve, when the game comes out because you won't have played it all that time. So people are going to be like masters of the game before you even step into it, So that's always, you never like to start behind the 8 ball, so to speak. Now, of course, you can watch streams and videos and you can probably learn most of the stuff you need to know, but there's really no replacement for actually being in there and actually doing it, actually playing the characters and playing the game.
We put them up, but we let you know when they were going to end.
And what is up with her face? She's got way too much blush on. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if she's had a reaction or if she just... I mean, she's a kind of a strange person anyway, but she's got a lot of weird yet red blush on her face.
And so it's been a long, many, many months that we have let people know in advance. But we tried to give as many reminders as we could, email reminders, social reminders. We tried to do our best, but we do want to let you know that we will continue to engage with the community.
So you can see this is actually a direct response to a lot of people that obviously are not happy about the fact that they can't get into Alpha 2. I mean, this is obviously they are saying this specifically because they've gotten a huge amount of people that are saying, hey, why can't I get into Alpha 2? I mean, and again, we knew there was a cutoff, but I didn't know the Alpha 2 was permanent, like permanent access until the game comes out. Maybe they said that. I don't remember them ever saying that. But it is strange that you would not let people give you money. I mean, you're sitting here have people that are trying to give you $250 to play your game, and you're not letting them. So it's a little weird.
And content creators to find other ways for folks to get giveaways and things of that sort. So stay tuned for that stuff, especially as we get closer to Alpha 2. And then beyond that, after our internal, or maybe, some of our external testing as well, after we get some, testing that we're satisfied with and we feel like we are able to, service additional testers, we will definitely find more methods for you guys to access the game. It won't be through pre-order packs. It will be through other ways to purchase. But yeah, we'll definitely find ways for you guys too. But we also...
So that's interesting. She just said you might find other ways for you to play the game. It won't be a pre-order, but it will be some sort of a purchase. So that seems strange to me. It almost sounds like they're saying, well, we're going to do a test of something, and you can pay money to come in and be a tester. Well, that seems kind of hokey. I hope that's not what it is. I don't want to have to pay money to be a tester. Because the whole thing is I don't like paying money to just play the game for a couple of weeks. You know, that to me it's not worth it. It's not worth paying that kind of money just so I can, be a, alpha 2 tester for 2 weeks. I'm, for 250, I already discussed it's not $250, but I don't think, I don't want to do that. I don't think it's worth it. But I was wrong, and I didn't realize it was. And now we don't know how much this access. We don't know how long the server. How much time will the servers actually be up? Just because they say, well, you've got Alpha 2 access, and that means you have access to the game. Like every version of the game that comes out before the release, you will have access. That still doesn't mean you're going to be having access all the time, because that could just mean that, okay, we've got an Alpha 2 that lasts 2 or 3 weeks, then we shut it down, and then maybe we do like a beta, and that comes out like maybe 4 or 6 months later, and you can play that for like a couple weeks. So it still doesn't mean you're going to be playing the game all the time. So there's a lot of communication here that's a little bit fuzzy in my mind, and I think it's not very clear how they're doing this stuff, and I'm a little bit perturbed about that.
I also want to make sure that we can service you well. So if we
Yes.
can't do that, we don't want to open up.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's like, we want to make sure we can service you well. They're worried about the servers crashing, is what it sounds like to me. They're worried about too many people coming in. I think that's what they're really worried about. They're worried about if they let tons and tons and tons of people get access, and then and then the servers crash. There's going to be this big blow, like, oh my god, you guys suck, you can't manage a server, whatever, who cares? I mean, do people really think that's going to be a big deal? So I messaged Steven here directly, Steven Sharif, the guy is the president of the company, and I said, look, I'm sorry to bother you, Steve, but I'm a huge lover of MMOs. I've been playing them since Lineage 2. I've been streaming MMOs for the past 7 years or so. I fully planned on buying the pack to get access to Ashes Creation Alpha 2, but it just slipped my mind, which is true. I actually was going to buy it, but it actually did slip my mind. So that's actually a true statement. My YouTube channel is this. If there's any possible way I could purchase the package, I'm pretty positive on my take of Ashes. I really wanted my viewer base to be able to see me cover this game. Thanks if you have the time to read. And I said, thanks if you do have the time to read this. And then I said, Julian Kish, programmer, lover of MMOs. And I was like 99.9999 repeating sure that he would not respond to this. But I thought I'd just throw it out there. You never know. Steven's he reads a lot of stuff. Like I've actually made posts on here directly at Steven, and he's actually responded, right? Which is pretty amazing, Like if you go here, I don't know. There was somewhere in here I made a request, and he actually responded. But anyway, so he does read a lot of the posts in the Discord. He's very active in social media. I've seen him respond on small streamers' channels I've seen small streamers who have like maybe 8,000 subscribers do videos on Ashes Creation, and I've seen Steven respond in the comments. So he's definitely well aware of what's going on in the community. So.
And I know it's weird. I have gotten some commentary from my colleagues
They're
within
like,
the industry.
Why don't you want our money?
Yeah, I know. Well,
See?
also from some industry colleagues, I've gotten questions about. Wait a minute, you closed your pre-order shop?
Yeah. See, even other people in the industry are saying, why are you closing your pre-order shop? Why are you like not allowing people to give you money to play your game?
We're like, yes, we want to ensure that the testing is going to go as we anticipate it to, and quality is important to us, obviously, during that. And that's why we found it appropriate and gave ample notice, as Margaret said.
Well, okay, so here's the problem I have with this too. Like, that's fine. It's only Alpha 2, and you're saying you're concerned about the quality of the testing. Well, Alpha 2 is Alpha 2. Most video game development phases go from alpha to beta to release. So what they're not saying here is, are they going to have a beta then? Are they, like some companies will have an alpha. Some companies will do a pre-alpha, alpha, beta, like closed beta. If you want to do like the full possible release schedule, you've got pre-alpha, alpha, closed beta, open beta release. That would be, if you did every possible testing phase that could be possibly done, that would be it, right? What's up, Bay? That would be it, right? So just because they say Alpha 2, they're not selling packages for Alpha 2 anymore. What does that mean about beta? What does that mean? Are you gonna have a beta? Is there going to be an Alpha 3, for example? Is there going to be a closed beta? Is there going to be an open beta? And if there is, are there going to be packages you can purchase to play those versions of the game? So, but when you say they have 2 beta tests, are they talking about so not alpha? Are you saying that those are beta, not alpha, but beta? See, here's the thing, we talked about this the other day because you were here when I messaged Steven, because I'm pretty kind of upset about that. Because I definitely wanted to get in and because I think this could be a game that I may be switched from WoW, because I've been a WoW streamer and someone who plays WoW ever since the game came out in 2004. Ashes of Creation could be the next big thing for me. It could be something that I play for years and years, and it could be something that I stream for years and years. And so, of course, I want to get in there and play it. You know, so I'm really disappointed that I didn't get in there. He said Alpha 2 is with them having all the core features ready, so kind of makes sense they wanted to limit. No, and I get that, but what I'm saying is I don't understand what they're going to do after that. And plus, I get why they're doing that. I totally get it. I still think it's wrong, personally. I'm like, all you have to do is put a queue on the server. If how many times have we seen servers come out and they're a shit show? And the reason they're a shit show is because they try to let too many people in the server, right? We've seen servers where they try, you go into the server and there's just people everywhere. I mean, look at World of Warcraft. Look at World of Warcraft Classic release. How many people were in the starting areas? It was ridiculous. So you could easily fix that with queues and with phased approaches. Bring in like 1,000 people in the first hour. Put a queue up. After an hour, and those people have leveled out of those zones, open up the queue. Let the next wave come in. I mean, there's ways to address these issues, but companies haven't done it, and they don't want to do it because they're lazy, I guess. That's the only reason I can think of it, right? I mean, there's easy ways to fix these problems. So, but my thing is, is they haven't communicated. At least I haven't seen it, and they used to have it. The other thing is they used to have it on their server, on their website. They used to have like, the packages. Like I'm frustrated. We're going to pick February 15th because that's my birthday. Yeah, no, and again, I agree with that as well. I mean, there's can be a big blowback, but I also feel that MMOs have been doing releases for a long time, and that those kind of blowbacks are really not as big a deal as they used to be. You know what I mean? It's not as bad as it used to be. Like a smart player who plays MMO is not going to sit there and be like, "Oh, this person said that this game sucks in alpha." Well, if I'm someone who knows MMOs and who's watched the development of Ashes of Creation from the beginning to where it is now, I understand where they're at. I understand what they're doing. I understand what type of technical expertise they have as a company. If I get in there and play the game, I'm going to have a very good idea of what's possible for this game in 2 or 3 years when they actually do release it. So someone can sit here and have all this blowback saying, "Oh, the servers." Who cares if the servers lag, especially in an alpha? I mean, who cares? That stuff's going to get fixed. Don't worry about that. That's not an issue. Our technology today is so good, right? Don't worry about that. That's not going to be a problem. I've seen enough of their live streams to know that that's not going to be an issue. So really, all you're talking about is the idiots. Let's be fair. The people that it can heavily impact the release is you're just filtering out the morons. The people are stupid who don't understand how MMOs work. And those are the people that probably weren't going to play the game for very long anyway. Because if they were that negatively impacted by the fact that they couldn't log into a game because the servers were full or the servers crashed, these aren't the kind of people that are going to be mainstays in your server anyway, right? They're not. They're just not. Yeah, but those are the people that are going to leave anyway, Ibe. If you have people that give it a one go and that's their opinion is formed done, you're never going to keep those people in the game unless the game is perfect. And it's like this perfect storm, which, as we know, how many MMOs are like that? Really, none. I've never played any MMO that didn't have problems on launch. I've never played a single MMO that was a new MMO that didn't have issues on launch. Not one, right? I can't think of one, right? Like, all of them have problems. New World had problems. Black Desert Online, actually, Black Desert Online was decent. Rift had all kinds of problems on launch. World of Warcraft had tons of problems on launch. Tons, right? Ion was pretty decent. I would say the Korean MMOs are usually better because they do a really good job of testing. I think they're a lot better at testing. But I don't really agree with you in that. I mean, I agree that you have these players that are one and done, but I think those are the people that don't stay in the MMOs for long anyway. Those people never stay because they're idiots, you know. Lost Ark, but that's only because, but that's not true. You're saying Lost Ark was smooth. Which version of Lost Ark was smooth? The American release? Because that's not it had already been released multiple times. Lost Ark was released what, in Korea? Lost Ark was released in Russia. Well, by the time you get to the US, you better have a fucking smooth launch. You've already had all this practice. So that's not valid. Was Lost Ark smooth the very first time it was launched? In Korea was it smooth? And I don't know because I didn't play it, right? But like I'm saying, the Korean games definitely are way better at launches than other countries, right? They're just better at it because they put queues on their servers. They do a lot of testing. They're just better at it. Ion launch was pretty good. Lineage 2 launch when I played Lineage 2 was pretty good. And that was 2000 something, you know? Yeah, WoW was terrible. Every Burning Crusade launch was horrible. Wrath of the Lich King was pretty bad. It took them a long time to get to where they had even decent launch. Now they're pretty good at it, I think. But they can't even do maintenance without screwing stuff up. I mean, they had a 1-hour maintenance on Tuesday of this past week that ended up being like 4 or 5 hours. Yeah, Blizzard definitely does not have their act together. But all I'm trying to say is I understand what they're trying to do. I just feel like they should be a little bit better about communicating the plans of all the releases. I think they need to be better at communicating what they're planning to do with these releases. Because as it is right now, there's nothing on their website. If you go to their website right now, there's nothing on their website that talks about the release schedule at all. I don't think there's anything out here. Good luck finding it. If you go to the shop, there's nothing. No items available. The only way you're going to find stuff on what they're doing is you have to go to their media out resources. Out resources like YouTube or whatever, wherever, and you have to watch a bunch of videos and try to sift through the information and figure out what are they doing. But this stuff isn't communicated anymore. Now it might be on the forums, right? And actually, I never go to the forums anymore because I go to Discord, right? Who even uses forums anymore? Who even uses forums? Esports, and these are community-based things, right? Dev discussions, feedback, support, ashes of creation, Alpha 1 spot testing. This is, that's Alpha 1 testing is already over. Role playing, none of this stuff has to do with the release information. Again, you're going to spend time trying to sift through all this information to figure stuff out. Yeah, Guild Wars 2. Yeah, but isn't Guild Wars 2 also backed by, guess who? Invade. Who's behind Guild Wars 2? Who's behind Guild Wars 2? It's NCSoft, man. It's NCSoft. I hear a thing. People don't like NCSoft. A lot of people don't like NCSoft. NCSoft knows how to make MMOs. They just do. I'm not saying they make great MMOs. They do make good ones though. I mean, but NCSoft knows how to run MMO servers. They know how to set up the infrastructure. They just do. They're good at it. So, they're great with media. They're great with media. They're great with advertising. They're great building stuff into the game. Like they build stuff into the game that can be, they build art and stuff in the game that can easily be merchandise. So I'm trying to think of the right word. That can be sold on like a shop, like T-shirts, stuff like that. They're very good at marketing. Marketing is the word I was looking for. They build stuff in the game that's easy to market, and they do a great job of marketing their games. I mean, there's Lost Ark, credit cards. You can get a Lost Ark credit cards. There's Lineage credit cards, Lineage T-shirts. There's like they check out like big stadiums in Korea. Like they'll take a whole baseball field and make it like a You know, make it like a Guild Wars 2 launch party. You know what I mean? They have billboards all over the city. I mean, gaming in Korea is it's huge. It's a huge thing. Anyway, so if we go here, right? Let me go to the shop. Now this is from January 15th of 2023. What do we see? Well, we don't see anything. Which is interesting. I think it was just... let's see. That's weird. You would think the shop would have been here. In 2023, like a year ago. That's weird. Let's go to the home page. Oh no, I don't. They know how to run it from a technology point of view. I don't know, like, if they know how to run. You know, I don't know if they know how to like support the game. I agree with you there. I don't think they know how to support the game. This is weird that they should totally have their stuff on the shop. I don't understand why the Wayback Machine, it should have had this.
Regarding it. But as you guys know, the shop update line post launch, so you know, maybe some things that you'll see. For those of you who enjoy that kind of stuff. As somebody who enjoys cooking, I love cooking and baking. It was very, very cool seeing that. So thank you. And then the last thing that we want to remind you guys about, and this is more of less of a reminder, and it's more because we've gotten a lot of questions. The PR inbox was full of questions. CS has been getting questions. I know our community team, Roshan and Vacnar, have been getting questions regarding it. But as you guys know, the shop update, our pre-order packs have ended. We are no longer selling pre-order packs. We did give a plethora of months notice whenever we put them up, but we let you know when they were going to end. And so it's been a long, many, many months that we have let people know in advance. But we tried to give as many reminders as we could.
Lovely.
We could email.
Lovely. Lovely. Lovely.
Looking for something specific? Have a good one. Well met. Safe travels.
What can I do for you? Go with honor, friend.
Oh my god, I've been talking that whole time and the mic was muted. Man, Zelch, I've been talking for the past 10 minutes. Nobody told me. Too many lurkers on this channel, man. Too many lurkers, Zelch. So, hey, how you doing, Zelch? What I was talking about was this. You have input. You've played Fury, or you've played Warrior a lot. So, what I'm doing here is I'm leveling a dual wield Fury, right? I know. Sometimes I mute it if I sneeze or something. So dual Fury. So I'm currently this is what I'm at, right? Currently this is my build right here. I usually go cruelty first, just because it's hard it's hard to not get 5% crit right off the bat, because that's a lot of crit. So usually the first thing I do is I do cruelty 5/5, then I do improved rend, then I do 2 points. Now another thing I do actually another thing that I do that I have done in the past is not gotten improved rend at all, and just straight up went deflection, just for the mitigation, because it's hardcore server and you don't want to die. So getting more parry is actually not bad. And then gone like something like this, but you're losing a little bit of the damage of bleed. But I mean, come on. I don't know. So, but because the end game build requires you to go bleed, deep wounds, impale, you could do that as you're leveling as well. So parry is kind of probably not necessary. Still, it's fun to have more parry though. And let me check. I think I gotta check my phone. Somebody's messaging me. Okay, all good. So, currently what we have is this. So I think what I'm gonna do is when I hit my next level, I'm gonna go Tactical Mastery 4. Then I'm gonna go Improved Overpower 2 out of 2. Then I'm gonna go back into the Fury Tree. So I'm not really too concerned about Deep Wounds and Impale at this level. I want to get more like just straight up damage from, and I want to get that chance to generate additional rage point. I want to generate more rage. So I'm going to go into Unparalleled Wrath. We're going to go into Improved Battle Shout. Then we're going to go down into Enrage. And at this point, we could just go Dual Wield Specialization. And then we're going to this requires 25 or what, 20? So we'll Dual Wield 225. Then we're going to grab Flurry. This requires what, 30? Yeah, we got Flurry. That'll give us Bloodthirst. Finish out Flurry. Then we could probably go ahead and finish out this. That'll put us at 58. Oh, before we do that though, I actually liked Improved Berserker Rage. I like the additional rage. I like being a rage machine. So I like to grab Improved Berserker Rage, and then we can finish this out. So what we don't have is this. Let's see how this compares to what they consider the standard end game rating build. Okay, so the difference is they go with 2 points into the execute, the reduction of the cost of execute, which I can see that. So you can execute more often, and that's it. Oh, they don't get the improved charge. They go ahead and grab Tactical Mastery and Anger Management, which makes sense. Anger Management has kind of a hidden thing in it that like every 3 seconds you generate like 1 rage point or something. Doesn't tell that in the tooltip, but it is there. So that just helps you generate more rage. I really like Improved Overpower, especially because I like to dual wield faster weapons, so I get a chance to proc Overpower a lot. So this really increases my damage quite a bit. But this is an end game raid build. So it's not too different. And I think that Improved Berserker Rage is really good earlier on, like when you're like 35 to like 50. I think this is a really good ability. What level would we be? Let's see, what level would we be when we actually get it though? Like here we're 47. I'd like to get it sooner rather than later. This requires, let's see. Okay, so yeah, well, unfortunately, soonest we could get would be 47. Kind of sucks, to be honest. That's why probably it's not as good, because you want Flurry's going to be better. So it kind of sucks that it's so far. Like Improved Berserker Rage really should be like in the 3rd tier. Let's see. I think we get Berserker at what, 35, level 30, I think. 36. Yeah, I would probably switch this out. Berserker Rage should be higher up in this tree. Doesn't make sense to be this far down. I would swap it with Improved Execute. I would take improved execute, put that here, and take improved berserker and put that here. You know, execute feels to me like more of an end game thing. You know, it's more beneficial in end game, whereas improved berserker rage is more beneficial in early game. So these should be swapped. So that's just Blizzard being Blizzard, in my opinion. Not, yeah, I don't like that at all. Because where it is makes it almost kind of not worth it. Because this is something that's really useful when once you get your berserker stance, and you get, you know, although I'm not sure what level does it require to use berserker's rage. Maybe it isn't a berserker stance thing. No, yeah, oh yeah. See, you do have to get. So like I was right. So you don't get it. It requires a berserker stance, and it requires level 32. So since this requires level 32, it kind of is stupid to give you a talent that improves. You know, I guess you could if you reset this. Let's reset both trees. We could respec this way if we wanted to make Berserker's Rage part of the cornerstone of our rage regeneration. We could do this. And still, we have to go all the way to 36 before we even get 2 talent points in it, which doesn't really line up with the ability, because you get Berserker's Rage at 32. So I think this should be available at 32, but it's not. It's not available until 35. So again, you know, in my opinion, that's Blizzard not being very intelligent with how they created these talent trees. Anyway, I'm sure that we'll play around with some different builds. I'm going to stop the stream here just because I'm going to walk the dog, and I told my wife me and her take a walk with the dog, and then I got some groceries that are showing up my door in like 5 minutes. So I'm going to stop the stream here, but then I'm going to come back in about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to stream probably for a while, hopefully, and try to get up to like level 20, you know, like 26, 27. Maybe we can do some stockades or something. I don't know if there's anybody in the guild that's right around my level. We got a few. Oh yeah, we got quite a few people that are in the 28 to 23 range. Got 36 guild members online, and you look at over the last 24 days how many people we've had online, or in the last 24 hours, I mean, quite a lot. That's pretty impressive. Over half the guild out of 845 guild members probably have been online within the last day. That's pretty damn good. So we have a very active guild. Anyways, thanks for watching my ramblings. Good to see you, Zelch. You know the warrior probably better than I do, Zelch. But we'll try some different builds. See what we can do. I also want to replace this this offhand weapon with a faster weapon. I'd like to get like a really fast dagger with a fiery enchant on it, just to try to see if we can proc more overpowers, because we're definitely going to be moving towards using improved overpower, because it's fun. It's fun. And then when we get improved overpower and we proc overpower, we can get a really slow two-hand weapon that we can weapon swap to if we want to. We can actually weapon swap to the two-hand, use that for the overpower to get the big juicy crits, and then weapon swap back to our dual wield. It's pretty useful if you have a really good weapon to do it with, because it can really crit, you know, big. Anyways, I'll catch you guys later, man. Hope everybody's having a good Saturday.